Now, we're done dun sa transactional basis natin in computing the capital gain stocks and capital gain and capital loss. We are going now to analyze what we did. As I said earlier, dalawa yung pagko-compute ng ating capital gains at capital losses. It is both transactional basis and at saka yung annualization. Now, we are in the stage of annualization. Let's try to review what we did earlier or on the previous video. Doon sa January 12, common stocks, we have 40,000 capital gain. Then sumunod yung April 1, we have capital loss of 30,000 for the preferred stocks. Then on July 11, we have stocks rights of 10,000 capital gain and another capital gain of 50,000. If we are going to total all of them and get the net, we have a net of 70,000. And that's the total for the year. You multiply it with the 15%, mangyari ang capital gain stocks natin for the year is 10,500. Then, kung ano man yung nabayaran natin na capital gain stocks on a transactional basis, i-deduct natin yon. Halimbawa, yung nabayaran natin sa transaction natin ng January 12, ang nabayaran natin is 6,000. Ito yung kanina. Ito yon. Dideduct natin yan. At saka yung nabayaran natin sa last transaction, December 1, 2026. So all of that has a total of the same as this, 10,500. So that's why at the end of the year, there is no still payable na capital gains tax sa taxpayer. Okay? Kasi equal lang yon. Halimbawa, kung mas malaki yung nabayaran nila kaysa dapat nabayaran, after computing at the end of the year, ang mangyari is, magpa-file sila ng refund sa BIR. To review, the annual results in a net capital loss, a refund for the capital gains tax can be applied. Mangyari lang yan kung capital loss yung lumalabas or net capital loss for the year. Remember na walang capital loss na pwede nating i-carry forward in this case, to the next taxable year. Or in any case rather. Letter E, dito naman tayo sa determination of the selling price. Paano ba kinocompute yung selling price at paano kinocompute yung cost? Dito naman yan makikita sa baba. We will discuss that. Part of this one, what if the selling price is below the prevailing market? So ngayon, ang always nasusundin natin when it comes to the measurement of the net capital gain or capital loss in computing from the shares of stocks na subject sa capital gains tax is always at selling price. Selling price again, yung una nating pagbasihan. Ngayon, kung yung market value of that particular na shares of stocks are below, if the selling price pala is lower than the market value, that difference is subject to donor's tax. So, halimbawa, the selling price is 1,000. Then the market value of that is actually 1,500. So you sold it lower, substantially lower. So whatever is the difference, it's either substantial or insignificant. Whatever is the difference is if mas mababa yung selling price compared to the market value, that is subject to donor's tax. Okay? So dito lang tayo magbabase doon sa subject ng capital gains tax. Anyway, sa dalawa naman ay wala naman niyang difference kasi yung donor's tax naman is subject sa 6%. In letter G, this is only applied to non-dealers. Tandaan natin itong particular na rules na to ay hindi to pwede ma-apply sa non-dealers kasi lahat ng shares of stocks na hino-hold or nandun sa dealers of securities are subject to regular income tax. Kasi ano nila yon, considered as ordinary assets kasi yun yung main business nila. So therefore, ito lang ay ma-apply doon sa hindi dealer. Kasi yun lang yung pagkakataon na yung mga shares of stocks na yan ay capital assets kasi hindi yan yung main business nila. Okay, now to clarify, for this purpose, shares of stocks can be sold either by dealer at saka ng dealers of securities. Okay, yun yung reality Hindi naman limited yung non-dealer na to sell any shares of stocks. So both non-dealer or dealer can do the selling of the shares of stocks. Letter B, buy and sell securities is the main business of the dealer and therefore, lahat ng securities nila ay sellers. Ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina. Now, ito naman dealer, pwede din siyang magbenta ng shares of stocks via PSE, Philippine Stock Exchange, or pwede din siya directly to the buyer. But it doesn't matter because lahat ng kanyang ibinibenta, regardless kung saan within the PSA ba or outside the PSA, are subject to RIT. Basta dealers ka in securities sa RIT yan lahat. Ibig sabihin, regular income tax. So dito yan. Securities sold to the PSE are not subject to 110. Ito yung tinasabi kong stock transaction tax. Pag dealers and securities ka, hindi yan ma-apply sa'yo, yung stock transaction tax. Ma-apply lang yan again sa mga hindi dealer. So halimbawa, in this particular taxpayer, if hindi siya nagiging subject sa CGT kasi ibinenta yung kanyang shares of stocks kasi listed kasi yung kanyang shares of stocks. So halimbawa lang ha, ganun yung nangyari. Siya ay magiging subject sa 1/10 of the 1%. Pero again, if he's selling outside the PSE, magiging subject siya sa capital gains tax. But these particular rules, itong 1 and 2, cannot be applied for dealers in securities. Again, dealers in securities are all, their shares of stocks selling are all subject to regular income tax. Third, all securities, so yun na yung sinasabi ko. Again, subject to regular income tax. Letter D, what about the non-dealers in securities? Sila ay, pwede din silang magbenta sa PSE or outside the PSE. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. So if that is the case, then yung transaction tax at saka yung capital gains tax can be applied to them. Okay? Now, sometimes if yung shares of stocks na binibenta nila ay hindi galing sa domestic corporation, then yung capital gains na nandun ay subject na naman sa RIT. As I said earlier, pag hindi nandoon nag-fall sa shares of stocks issued by the domestic corporations, not listed, directly sold to the buyer, pag hindi ganun yung nangyari, capital assets pa rin siya pero subject na siya sa regular income tax. And again, that is for non-dealers in securities. Letter H, determination of capital gains and losses is also subject to wash sales. Mayroon tayong discussion ng wash sales doon later on kung paano yon. So, kung mapapansin niyo kanina, when we are going to compute the cost basis of the shares of stocks, sinasabing cost basis kasi again, mayroon yung mga adjustments on the previous na mga transactions na nangyari kung paano mo yun na-acquire yung mga shares of stocks na yan. Na-inherit mo ba yan? Through donation ba yan? Or did you acquire it by paying something? Did you acquire it for, or if there are things happen before that can affect the cost of the shares of stocks, then it should be readjusted. Yung mga events na yon, isa doon ay ang wash sales. So sa wash sales, ito yung mga pagkakataon na mayroong mga capital losses that cannot be allowed to be deducted as capital losses to be taxable. So that's why there are readjustments with the cost basis. But we are going to discuss that later on. Letter I, capital gains tax can be paid on installment basis, which also be discussed later on. So what I'm telling you at first in this section are whole coverage of the shares of stocks, and we have already the understanding about how to compute the selling price and how to compute the transactional basis of the capital gains and the capital losses and its annualization. Other details will be discussed here below. Okay, see the next video for this.